I am James Kotecki. You are here with me in the C-Space studio at CES 2020. And here with me today are Sasha Savic, the CEO of MediaCom USA, and coming back to the studio for her second interview of the week, Laura Molen, President of Ad Sales and Partnerships, NBCUniversal. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
So we're here to talk about the new Majority Ready movement, but first, Sasha, can you just contextualize what MediaCom is and how you define that brand?
MediaCom is a global media and communication agency, part of Group M,
Yes.
which is part of WPP. We operate in more than 100 countries around the world, work with some of the biggest brands around the world. And in US is one of our key markets, key geographies. I'm CEO of MediaCom here. I joined company 9 years ago.
So what is New Majority Ready, and how did that get started?
Well, New Majority Ready started actually, idea started maybe 18 months ago. I was in Russia actually in World Cup soccer with some of your colleagues. We kind of had a conversation about what is the current status of advertising and media investment for the diverse audiences. How much we or our clients are planning to invest to Hispanics, African Americans, Asian audience, and all the rest of it. And we kind of jointly concluded that there is a huge discrepancy between importance of this segment of population and investment that goes toward this segment. And numbers are staggering, because if you look for percentages of people that are younger than 18, this audience is already majority in the country.
In the United States?
In the United States. I think if you look across all of population, we're talking about 40% is kind of diverse audiences, so non-white Caucasian audience. If you look specific investment for advertising and marketing that goes towards this audience is much, much less. It's kind of depends agency by agency and client by client, but it's something like from 0 to 5, 10, 15% max. So we said, we need to do something about it, because this is really not just about getting ratios right, but this is about marketers and marketing needs to express purpose of their brands that needs to work for all people living in the country. And so this is one of these efforts and initiatives that starts for the right reasons. But also, if we look purchasing power of this segment, we're talking about trillions of dollars. And every brand and every company right now, we're kind of living in a marketing that has speed of now. So in this environment, it's very important to be very smart about new sources of growth for all of them. And I thought that finding growth in this segment of population was a smart and a good short-term and long-term to do. So that's kind of reasons why we started Movement.
Yes, and we're very like-minded, because at NBCUniversal, we are uniquely positioned to reach nearly every Hispanic in the US, and that is because we have both Spanish language networks and English language properties. Telemundo is Telemundo, and Universo, as well as so many of our platforms. And what we see is that research shows that half of US Hispanics do not watch English language television. So you cannot reach the full scope of US Hispanic if you don't have a Spanish language television network. And so what we've been doing is working together with marketers to really show the value, because there are so many myths, one being that you can reach all US Hispanics in only English language TV, but another one being that they don't have spending power. And as Sasha mentioned, they have tremendous spending power. And we took it a step further using Comcast set-top box data, along with credit card and loyalty data, to show how U.S. Hispanics watching Spanish language TV as well as English language TV are spending more than the average consumer. They have bigger families, they're very loyal, there are certain categories that they excel in, whether it's auto, a lot of different packaged goods, beauty, healthcare, and telco, I can go on, and they're just a valuable consumer. And so having an opportunity to work with Group M and the New Majority with other like-minded companies, because we are part of a coalition of many media companies along with Group M, to go to clients and speak to them about the opportunity, the business case that can grow their business by reaching this audience, speaking to them in culture, in language, and changing their economics for growth.
Yeah, I think what was a great thing about New Majority early effort is that we created alliance of most important and biggest media companies in US, and we had a very clear set of rules of engagement, and kind of we clearly defined what is the purpose. And interesting thing here, and we're here at CES, I mean, we talk about and live technology and innovation every year in second week of January. What we know that message that is relevant and personalized delivers up to 30% better conversion than message that is broad. And last 2 or 3 years, marketers spend lots of time, effort, money invested in piping and technology and all of this to be able to do that. However, that did not translate into personalization toward Hispanic, African American, Asian, and all the rest of it. So one of the connections with CES is actually how do we use personal data of this population to give them message that resonates personally with them. And it's a huge opportunity, business opportunity for growth.
It seems like the business case for doing this is crystal clear, but what's also clear is that it hasn't happened yet. Is that partially due to maybe a lack of diversity or understanding on who marketers and advertisers generally are? And so is there a culture change that needs to happen inside there?
I wouldn't say that it's not happening, but having worked in this space for about a decade, what we've seen is that companies, as they're looking to save money, they came out of a recession looking to save money, marketing often gets hit. And so the centers of excellence that were representing these markets got pulled out of the companies and the agencies. Group M has managed to keep the center of excellence within their company, led by Gonzalo Del Fa, and they really are able to then give the clients the insights and the research to show them the business case. And so what we're doing together as a group is going to clients with research and giving them a source that they don't have in their companies and help really break through the red tape and make some smart decisions around it. And it doesn't look like it's coming from me as a salesperson from NBCU, because there's other companies involved, like Disney, like Univision, there's Google, iHeartRadio, like there's so many in there. And so collectively, they know that this is not a sales pitch, that this is actually a business opportunity. And you mentioned being in this world where addressable TV, which at NBCUniversal we do, allows us to speak to each consumer individually, and so we can help marketers with creative, with data, with insights, with technology, and that's what the New Majority is doing. And so it's so much easier to do when you have a collective voice, because otherwise the clients have so many voices coming at them, and so we appreciate that Group M has taken the lead on this and given us one collective voice in the industry.
Are there certain technologies, Sasha, that you think are empowering marketers to do this better, and are technologies in some ways holding them back?
Well, that's a very good question. Actually, I was leading some discussion yesterday morning when we opened Group M and WPP Terrace here, and my kind of opening statement was that we all kind of come here to get inspired by innovations and new technologies and all of this, but it's a little bit like what happens at CES in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, I think generally speaking, consumers, people, showed ability to adopt new technologies and adopt new technologies much quicker than marketers. So I think biggest challenge for all of us is like to quickly distill what's new, what's going to really change the way we communicate with the people, and to apply that. Now, when it comes to what's going to change and influence our ability to communicate with the audiences, I think in any medium you have tremendous shifts because of technology. So if you think about radio and voice, it's about podcast. If you think about TV, it's actually TV and video and addressable and all what's happening there. If you think about online marketing, whatever that means, it's infinite number of ways that you can use it. But I think common denominator is that we're moving in a marketing where we need to know precisely who we're talking to and what's the result in real time. So all technologies that are kind of connected to that are dramatically changing the way we execute campaigns, build brands, communicate with people.
And how are you seeing that on your side?
We are really seeing that. I mean, we have to continue to push to break legacy. So much of our business was transacted and done in decades and decades ago. And like Sasha said, the consumer has run so much further ahead of us, and we need to catch up, and we need to help marketers catch up by investing in technology. We announced today one platform where a marketer could really reach US Hispanics fully across our entire platform of products at NBCUniversal, which has not been done before. One measurement, one plan, one delivery system, and we can do it in an addressable way, one-on-one. We can create content with marketers that speak to the audience. So having, again, like-minded partners in Group M with the new majority helps us to be able to listen to marketers, what they really need, and build ad products to solve the problems that they're looking for.
Well, clearly 10 minutes is not enough time to have this conversation, and I know the conversation will continue to go on. As we close out, one question to both of you. 2020, it's time to stop blank and start blank. Sasha, you go first.
Well, I think I'll start with what we need to start. I think we need to, in the media and marketing, we need to go back to what this country was always about. And this country was always about a place that has respect for every person and every segment of population and celebrates diversity. So that's what we need to start to do. And I think new majority ready. What we need to stop, I think we need to stop blaming someone else, blaming politicians, blaming industry, blaming stock market and pressures for growth. Let's stop doing that and let's take personal efforts to change things for better.
And Laura, did I ask you this question yesterday too?
No, you did
okay,
not,
great.
but I think we need to stop doing things the old way, looking in the rearview mirror, really break legacy, and start putting the consumer first, because they already are moving ahead to the way that they want to consume media. And when you speak to them in authentic voices and go to the places that they are, it proves that sales results are there for the marketers.
So Sasha Savic, MediaCom, Laura Molen, NBCUniversal, both partnering together for the new Majority Ready movement. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Both of you for being here in the C-Space
Thank
studio.
you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for watching. I'm James Kotecki, your host here in the C-Space studio at CES 2020. Stay tuned because more great conversations are just ahead.